So no more words from me. We are ready to get into Champ Select, ladies and gentlemen. Just as soon as they start the game, and we are into Champ Select. Sam Houston on the red side, UW Whitewater on the blue side, and hey, the graphics working this week. We finally got everything fixed up. Blizzard Riot has finally decided to fix some of the spaghetti code issues, so we will rejoice for that. Okay, first ban. So, fully expecting to see some of this bot and mid pool get pinched here for the side of Sam Houston. So does UW want to take away? No, instead they're going to go ahead and take away the Shen. I think it's a smart option. One of the only two champions that can play cross-map right now, especially given that teleport has been nerfed. It's been so thoroughly. That obviously has been around for a while now. So Sam Houston will have to find something else to put in that top lane. Shen going to be the takeaway there. Lulu going to be the answer there for Sam Houston. So they may decide they want to get a strong bot lane matchup here, and that's, I think, reasonable to expect from them between Zodiac and High King, who's going to be the sub in there for Lyros. So what else is Sam Houston? I mean, bot side I think is going to be important for them is, the Zodiac going to be denied the gen there. So Sam Houston I think is still going to try and find themselves a winning bot lane matchup. It's going to be difficult to see what they're going to pick there because there are a number of champions that they can pick for that role, but it's going to depend on what they want to flex with it. Probably going to be the takeaway there from Bad Luck. Right, and Whitewater, do they want to try and pinch this bot lane pool a little bit more? Do they want to continue to spread the love around and maybe deny the Ari away from Puppy Cat? Sam Houston would love to get their hands on it, even despite the nerfs, if they could. Standout champion, lots of mobility, lots of damage, but nope, it's going to be target ban towards Dragink, so denying him that chance to have the jungler. Is again, these guys are just recreating drafts as best they can, so we may not necessarily get the full draft as they did it, but obviously they're going to do what they can to get this close. Vygar, though, I like that takeaway from Puppy Cat. I think it denies some of the safety, the denial away there from Connor, I think denies some of the safety in that mid lane. I think makes that lane a little bit more volatile. Vygar's a champion, obviously having the Predator, making him a lot more dangerous, and then his just passive scaling damage throughout the game makes him incredibly difficult to deal with, so I'm glad to see that champion taken off the board there for Whitewater, but obviously they have a number of champions they can still scale to. Braum, the first pick there from Whitewater, so signaling that they want to try and get a fairly safe bot lane locked in, so I expect to see an ADC locked in here. Jinx going to be the pick there for Zodiac, and yep, there's that Ari, so we fully expected that from Sam Houston. When you let that through, that's going to be their go-to every single time. Just a lot of flexibility with that champion. And Ash going to come in there for Braum, so I like this combo. I like the stacking of the passes potentially here. I like the ultimates to set up team fighting, and I like a lot of the dueling that these two champions do have. Braum obviously facilitates anti-invade, so kind of buys your jungler just a little bit of guaranteed safety and preventing some of those early ganks from going down, making sure that no one can get in there and steal some of those camps from your junglers. So I like to see that. Whitewater, do they want to? Yeah, okay, they're going to go ahead and lock in the mid. Karma, I think, is an interesting answer to the Ari, just because Ari's not necessarily going to be able to kill the Karma with the magic resistance she's going to have passively. And then Karma facilitates a lot of team fighting. You know, that mantra Q, getting the speed up, getting the shielding is going to be excellent for any kind of dive comp, any kind of team comp. So, obviously, Whitewater will have a number of options that they can continue to draft for. So, a lot of possibilities for them. The Zillion lock in there as a support for the Hiking. Not a champion that we see a lot of in the support position. We do see it a lot mid just because it is kind of seen as one of those mage answers where it's fairly safe. You can look to roam, you can set up team fighting. Obviously, having access to ultimate is pretty nice in a team fight. You just get a little bit of a freebie. You're dead and then you're not because Zillion ults you. And you just get to come back. And Orin going to be the takeaway there for Texas A. I expect to see that champion pool pinched again just to deny him any kind of safety. I mentioned to see if they want to deny the Irelia or maybe possibly the Scion, another tank champion that we don't see so much of. It could also possibly be the Gnar ban away there. Just depends on what Whitewater want to try and pinch on the pool. And the York going to be takeaway there from Tavros. Final ban for Whitewater. Do they want to pinch the jungle pool or maybe look to pinch this top pool? I would say they'll probably pinch the top pool, deny another safe champion, and look to force Texas A on a bad matchup and get their top laner, Tavros, a winning matchup with a dueling style top laner. And Irelia is still on the board. It is going to be a Trundle ban away there. So that actually is a double flex ban because it does go towards the top lane, does build that hull breaker. In siege turrets, and Trundle obviously a noxious champion to deal with. Zhenhao going to come out. Not a champion we see a lot of anymore. He has been nerfed fairly heavily through the last several patches. Is not quite the duelist he used to be, but does still have a little bit of early game power. Mad Joker. do you want to lock in? Does it want to go top lane with this or lock this in for jungle? This is a double flex for now. Wait to see where that goes. Again, no top lane locked in for Sam Houston, so this is going to be a blind top lane no matter what. So Texas A will have the counter pick regardless of what Whitewater chooses to do. They're going to lock in some safety there. They're going to lock in a champion that doesn't need any resource management. It can just look to play for himself. Mordekaiser. Potentially like this pick, but Sam Houston, what do they want to answer with? It is just going to be the Mundo, that last remaining really kind of unpinched bruiser outside of the Nard that wasn't touched. He locks this in. It'll be an interesting matchup for those two. Dr. Mundo able to deny some of the setup there for Mordekaiser, depending on how that shielding goes. Obviously, if Mordekaiser is able to pop that, then he can still land the ultimate and still put Mordekaiser in the timeout realm and look to get past it. But I think Dr. Mundo has pretty decent dueling power with Mordekaiser if he's not able to, if Mordekaiser's not able to proc his passive and getting that passive damage generation from the burn. Just to see how this will go. Sam Houston drafting themselves quite a bit of scaling there between the Dr. Mundo, the Ahri, and the Jinx, specifically that Jinx, and the fantastic late game pick if you are looking to take some of those longer, high damage late game fights. Jinx is obviously a champion that's become a menace over the last, several months. We've seen a lot in pro play, seen a lot in semi-professional play, and a lot in collegiate. There's a lot that this champion can do. It's got slows, it's got stuns with the traps, it's got a lot of damage. Obviously, having access to the rocket gives you AoE push. It's just a fantastic team fighter. This is a champion that does rely off of getting resets, but if you do find one low health member, it is just lights out for anybody trying to fight into the Jinx. And we're going to do this intro again, just because we're onto the Rift one more time. Game 1 of Sam Houston State University Esports versus UW Whitewater. Sam Houston is on side. 1 second, we're going to fix this really quickly. Alrighty. These teams are running out of the Rift. I don't expect any kind of early game shenanigans from either of these teams. I think just given the setup, there's not a lot of CC they can play with, so difficult to set some of that up. I say that. Whitewater loading up into this bush. They are going to get spotted. Light attempt sitting on a ward, so may not know that he's spotted right there. And Sam Houston pinging that out so they know that it's their Puppy Cat. Be fairly safe with Yari even despite that range. Will they look for a late invade? Be fairly risky. They are showing here. It's going to go wide with the Q, so Light Tempo not going to land that one, and yeah, they are just going to peel out. Not going to look to take anything there, so just a little bit of a pesky invade. Keep Sam Houston on their toes. Interesting attempt for that. I think if they had a hooking champion, they might could have looked for a play like that, but obviously getting that vision from Sam Houston gives them the information that they need to stay safe, so nothing going to go down there in the end. I like that ward as well, that knowing that UW was stacked in that river bush gave Sam Houston plenty of time to go place that ward to get extra vision of where Bad Luck is going to want to start. So I think great play by them just to get as much early information. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what matters most. It's not kills, it's not gold, it's information. I know that may sound crazy for some people, but the more information you have, the more you can do with. And that means the better that you can play. Information is key, and Sam Houston going to be getting a lot of it off of that early ward. I'm interested to see what these junglers are going to try and do in the early game because it is going to be parallel starts. Dragonx, I think, is going to have a little bit of speed. Just getting access to that level 3 a little bit earlier on that top side is a little bit difficult for Graves to try and take Krugs early. It's a little bit of a slower clear, so likely just going to go clear those Raptors and then run up towards that red buff. Because Dragonx is going to go ahead and finish off that Gromp and then run towards Wolves. But if either of these lanes, in terms of this bot side of the map, whether it be mid or bot side, if they are pushing, it could be a lane that both these junglers could look to play around. Again, without having a tremendous amount of CC for Sam Houston, obviously the peel is going to be pretty good for Whitewater, having access to that Braum, having access to the Ashlow with the W. So I think it would be difficult for the Zinhao to try and come in there and do anything, but obviously we'll have to wait to see what both of these junglers want to try and do. The zoning capability there for Sam Houston, though, having access to the Zillion Bomb, because you can kind of cut off some of these access paths that junglers might want to use in order to gank you, but still not going to have necessarily the same reliable peel that a Braum might offer for an Ashe. Just small advantages right now on the lane, top side. Fairly even bot and mid, but that top side is a matchup that we're going to have to look to watch pretty close. As High King dropping below half, already having to tick away out of potions. We'll be relying on those biscuits to try and get back up, but it will be at least 40 more seconds until he has access to those. He'll get his next biscuit. He's taking them at the 4-minute mark. Sam Houston, what do they want to try and do here early? This is a team that is fine, just waiting towards the late game, waiting for Jinx to scale. They're not doing terribly in lane. They're only down a couple of CS, and Jinx obviously going to be fine the longer she has his charm. Going to land onto the UW mid laner. Connor going to get out, though, just shielding a little bit there. Dragonks, we'll see that scuttle was taken. Bad Luck might want to try and get greedy, get the second one. We'll have access to this first, but it depends on whether or not Connor is getting ganked successfully here. We'll just speed his way on out of there. Bad Luck, just going to go and collect that second scuttle. That feels good. It's not a lot of XP or gold, but it does feel good to take it and to deny some of the vision. Is Texas A getting the worst end of that trade, going to get the passive going for that Mordekaiser. In that matchup, I don't think we'd expect to go any other way in terms of this early game. Mordekaiser's just an oppressive laning champion for any kind of bruiser or tank. It's very difficult to trade effectively on him, especially if you're trading autos. And with him having that Conqueror, the more he autos, the better it gets for him. So Texas A obviously not going to be able to take any of those extended trades. Could look for some small burst with Cleaver and an auto attack and try and get the grass proc. But beyond that, not going to be able to find too much there. Bad Luck going to get spotted out on the Warren, so no danger of a gank. And Sam Houston, this is going to be an interesting part for this early game in terms of trying to answer what they want to do, because again, without having reliable CC, it's going to be difficult to execute some of these ganks. I mean, even if you can land the Wind Becomes Lightning on a Tabros, it's not going to be the easiest to knock him down. He's going to get that knock up there. Going to pop the Grey Holding, is forced to flash, so that is a summoner that they can now punish, and that's the way you're going to have to do it if you're Sam Houston. Just look to get a lot of that poke down as early as you can and force summoners out, so that will be a lane that they can revisit. The summoner going to be down for the next 4.5 minutes there for Tavros. That's going to hurt, but hopefully Mordekaiser is going to be fine once he reaches level 6, so if he does get ganked, can just choose to take, you know, 1v1. Turns that gank into a not-so-fun realm, 1v1 in the death realm. Tavros just going to go ahead and collect some of the CS and experience underneath the tower. Shouldn't lose too much of it. Texas A just trying to poke him out, trying to make sure that that wave crashes so that way Tavros can't freeze it there, and I think it's a pretty good play, especially given the Mordekaiser. So just so long as he kind of passively autos there, he might actually even be able to freeze it. But early Dragon going to go the way of UW Whitewater. And a good early take for them. Infernal Dragon's always a lot of fun to have. Just makes you feel a little bit better. It doesn't offer you tremendous amount of stats early without stacking them, but is still just a good dragon to deny. As Tavros going to tick over to 6, so now Texas A going to have to be wary. Tavros lands the grab. Texas A could find himself getting a one-way ticket to Dray Steering, which is going to have to passively farm using Cleaver. The good thing about Mundo, I think especially for Texas A, is the fact that it is such a beefy champion, even in the early game, so it can absorb a tremendous amount of punishment, and is able to set up effectively in some of these team fights. The longer that Mundo can stay up, the more difficult it is to look for some of these front-to-back team fights that this Whitewater team is going to be looking for, right? If you're looking at trying to push through the front line of the Zenhao and in the Mundo, you are going to have some difficulty there in trying to get to the backline access, especially if Zodiac is getting resets. You know, if you have a couple of low-health members here between Connor and Mad Joker go down, and Jinx get that damage resets, gets the rock, and it gets the speed up, then it is a much more dangerous team fight for Whitewater to try and take. But the good news is for them is that they do have some great team fighting with the Mordekaiser, with the Karma, having access to that Mantra Q, and then having a better CC setup, even though there isn't a lot in it in the game, has access to more of it with the Ashe and with the Braum. Team fighting should look pretty good for them as long as they don't drop too many members early. And obviously, Mordekaiser being able to lock off one of those major carries for Sam Houston in those team fights without access to QSS does mean that some of those team fights should just go their way by dint of having a man advantage. Obviously, turning a 5v5 into a 4v4 is going to feel pretty good, especially if you can get a weaker or squishier member if you're Tavros. So that's going to be one of their win conditions, looking forward to seeing some of these team fights. Start to see some of the poke there from Sam Houston. Those pesky Azillion bombs, always difficult for Braum to deal with. Doesn't hurt him a lot, but they're just annoying. It's annoying to play, and Texas A going to be getting ganked here. Shield is going to go down now, so next bit of CC will land. Tavros, does he want to try and grab him? Is going to knock him into the death realm. Looking to set up his passive. Isn't going to get procced yet. Texas A going to walk his way on out of there, though. So a little bit worse for Wear, but it's not without even blowing his flash, too. So that's not a bad trade if you're Texas A, knowing that that ultimate's going to be down for Tavros. Means you should have the run of the lane for the next couple of minutes. Puppy Cat roaming up there. Texas A, they're getting caught greeting for a ward. Isn't going to get grabbed now. Forced to blow the flash. He's going to walk into that smoke. The Puppy Cat and Dray Gangs are here. What do they want to get? They can look to set something up. Puppy Cat going to be trying to dash in. Not going to land anything yet. Charm not going to land to either. Force flashed out from Bad Luck, but they're going to get away with their lives. Trading here in the bot lane. Sam Houston have access to double 6, so they can continue to trade pretty aggressively here. Light Templar doesn't have access to his ultimate. Enchanted Crystal Arrow available for Mad Joker, but not likely going to want to use it right now. Instead, they're going to try and force it onto High King. He's going to pop the ultimate, and now he's in the passive. Zodiac, what can he get? Going to try and cleanse out of it. Flash out, but it's not going to be enough. This is going to be first blood going over to the UW. What else can they get? High King trying to get out of here, trying to speed himself up, but he doesn't have any mana. Templar gonna land one more Q, gonna land the auto. Ignite's gonna go down, and Mad Joker is gonna get a double kill. Non-stop back to the top lane, gonna be traded over for Bad Luck. Tavros gonna try and live here, trades 1 for 1. It's 3 for 2 in the end. Sam Houston dropping those kills. Connor trying to land the root, does manage to do so. Sidesteps the charm. Fantastic trading across the map. Texas A, can he get this though? Connor gonna be flashing forward. He wants to try and kill Texas A as well. Might not be able to. Now, he's going to get it, but can he make his way over to it? No. Connor's going to deny that one. So the Herald just going to fizzle out. Texas A sacrifices his life to prevent the objective from going over. Not sure if it was a worth play. Obviously, you could have just looked to reset it, but you obviously don't want to give the objective over to Karma. So a good denial there. Yes, he won't get it, but at least this UW squad that is a little bit ahead right now, especially after some of those cross-map plays and some of the team fighting they had early. It will be nice to deny that away from them. And that early bot lane trading not going the way that Sam Houston wanted to. They tried to pick that fight, trying to force into the tower, knowing that Light Templar didn't have access to the ultimate. So they, I think, just making a smart adaptation, said, okay, well, even though if you have the ulti, like, you don't have the damage to punish us right now. And ultimately, just with the early items that we have, we're a little bit better. So they decided to force onto High King there, and I think great adaptation to force that ultimate out onto the Zillion, force him to ult himself, and then just turn and focus the Jinx, knowing that it is going to be a 2v1 for at least 5 seconds. Yeah, can he get this? Going to dash out. Root's going to land. Ignite not going to be enough to kill Connor. But now Bad Luck's here. He's in this bot lane. There's going to be the ultimate coming out from Light Templar. Enchanted Crystal Arrow on top of that. And this is just going to be another kill. Mad Joker going to collect his third of the game. He's on a killing spree. He's about to be on a gold spree as well. 3-0-0. Already has the upgraded boots pickaxe sitting in inventory. That's going to feel fantastic for him. He's going to have a very nice back. Sam Houston just getting a little bit greedy there, not respecting the vision, not respecting the fact that they hadn't seen Bad Luck, so. And Summoner's still down for that Sam Houston bot lane. So this is something that this UW squad can look to continue to punish. Texas A, and he's surviving the death realm right now, just trying to juke Tavaros around and see if he can find his way back towards the tower. One more Q would do it, still ticking away. Flash forward, he is going to get it in the end. Second Dragon going to be picked up for UW Whitewater as well. Super Mega Death Rocket, attempted steal there, but not going to happen. It's not enough damage to try and steal anything away, especially with someone standing in the way. Sam Houston down a little bit of gold right now, down 2 dragons, and this Whitewater team playing through the win conditions we talked about earlier in that pre-game lobby, talking about how they like to take some of these skirmishes, like to get some of these team fights. Rampage for Mad Joker. He's going to knock that one down. He's going to get another stun. That's going to be a double kill. Drake's here way too late. Can he get anything back in return? This is buying enough time there for Light Templar. Auto's just going to go into the shield. Light Templar, does he want to try and get something else? Q would do it. One more auto flashes out. Mad Joker going to get sacrificed to the turret. Heal not enough. Shut down. Gold going over Drake's. He almost lost his life for it, but it manages to trade it back at the end. 8-3 for Sam Houston, though. Now, shutdown gold going to feel very good in his pocket. Zen now obviously has quite a bit more to go before he's going to be a threat. Only has the Iron Spike Whip right now. Will buy that Caulfield's Warhammer and upgrade the boots, but still a while to go before he's going to be able to start taking any of those trades into that bot lane. Still a little bit of greed from Mad Joker trying to go for that, just absorbing some of those tower shots. Light Templar not able to draw aggro there. So Drake's just managed to get out with his life. Bad Luck. He wants to try and return the favor here. Texas A shield's going to drop. Cleaver's going to land to buy him a little bit of slow. And he find his way back into this lane. That's not the way you want to go, my friend, because Bad Luck going to try and set up some of the CC here. Channel Crystal Arrow from across the map stopped Drake's. I don't know how they saw that one. They did see it. Super Mega Death Rocket going to go wide. Bad Luck going to flash over. Now it's a 3-on-3 right now. High King, he's here. He's going to land the passive ability onto Texas A, give him a little bit of a level up. Throws the ultimate down onto Drake's for good measure. Puppy Cat, and she find anything? No, not going to be able to right now. Fantastic response for Sam Houston. Great cross-map roam from High King to deny that fight that Whitewater was looking for. I'm going to go into the replay. So you see here at the start of this fight, so the shield goes down for Texas A. He lands the cleaver. So he's got the slow. Just makes his way calmly towards the Channel Crystal Arrow. I think we start to see come out there. Interested to see. Yes, he did. Yeah, so Mad King just threw that out, or sorry, Joker threw that out from the bot lane, and then you see the rest of this fight, just the engage. Super Mega Death Rocket goes wide. The ensuing team fight there, more than enough give Sam Houston what they need to get back in that fight. So just great adaptation, great response, and great roam for the Sam Houston support. Back to live. Sam Houston losing some of these plates right here. Draganx wants to try and set up something. He's going to get slowed away with the W. Zillion trying to land it right now. Q going to buy a little bit more time now. Bad luck is here. Zinha going to be forced to pop the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to drop even inside of Sam Houston. Not going to be able to respond to that one. So another kill going down. Right, next couple objectives. 2 minutes on the next dragon. It is likely going to be, I think it's a mountain dragon. I'm not sure. I can't see what it will be from here because the indicator is gone from the objective timers. Why is we getting code strikes again? But that's okay. They may be looking to dive this. UW may look to try and make a play here. They have the members. The mini wave is going to be fizzing out. Zodiac, he's going to walk into this. He didn't know. Immediate flash out. Speed up there from High King, but he has no access to the ultimate. Blomq going to come out. And Chena Crystalero is going to pick that one. Mad Joker, he's absolutely insane. He's going to get a second kill, a double kill for him. Badluck's going to trade his life to the turret at the end. Zillion will pick that one up, but that is a poor consolation prize for Sam Houston bot lane. And this turret's going to go down, so that'll be the first of the game. This UW Whitewater team starting to run away with it again. They're starting to have quite a bit of gold lead go their way. Puppycat trying to see if they can find anything. And she has something done. Going to get that Braum pass. Teleport coming out there from Texas A. Trying to get into this fight. Lightatim going to flash out. It's going to be its response. Teleport from Tavros. Shut down goes to Puppycat, but what else can they get? Tavros going to get charmed up. Trying to land the ultimate. Is going to be able to do so, but Puppycat may have enough damage to trade this. One more dash out. Bring him to a little bit of safety. Passive is going, and now they're going to try and pick up Tavros. Puppycat will fall. In the end, it's going to be a 1-for-2 trade for Sam Houston after that extended play. Good job by the Sam Houston squad to continue to fire back, continue to look for opportunities. A long fight taken there in that bot lane. A couple of those teleports coming out to try and respond. Texas A the first to get there. Then Tavros responding. Only managed to grab the Ahri at the end of it, especially after she had low health. So don't look to see that happening too much, especially when Puppycat has access to the ultimate to maintain the damage. But still a good pickup there for Tavros. 3-for-3 so far. High King, he's just going to slow bad luck. Doesn't want to get chased, as nobody would want to get chased. Now for Sam Houston, if you're going to try and get back in this game, because they are down a fair amount of gold right now. They are almost down 5k gold. Sorry, 4k gold. If you want to try and contest for this next dragon, you don't want to give the Dragon Soul point over to this UW team. And if you're looking to take a team fight right now, Chena Crystalero is going to go down. Braum ultimate on top of that. The Lightatim's going to be the first to fall in the fight. Sam Houston, they may have found their team fight back into this. Tavros trying to get something done. Connor's joined the fight, but it's not in time. Sam Houston firing back. Mad Joker, can he get something else? No, not going to be able to. Puppycat's going to pick that one up, and now Connor left all on his lonesome trying to get out. Low health bars. Can he trade 1-for-2? Not going to be able to. Sam Houston picks that one up, and they even up that gold lead. They're going to get their first dragon of the game. Sam Houston firing back on all cylinders. And an absolutely pivotal team fight for them. They needed to find their end for that dragon, needed to find the tempo, and were able to do so. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that replay. So it starts off just a little bit of contest for the vision. Q goes wide, and Jinx manages to land a slow right there, and that's Texas A's in. That's all he needs to try and get this started, getting down on top of Bad Luck. Forces Light to try and throw down the ultimate, flashes out, and now they have the time because the Chena Crystal Arrow lands on top of Zillion, but then they don't get anything after that. But then a follow-up for Sam Houston is just phenomenal. Managed to kite out Tavros, managed to make him burn his entire kit for nothing. Then the follow-up there on top of Mad Joker. Absolutely what it needed to be. Sam Houston walked away with a much-needed team fight. Now, Sam Houston, you've gotten a lot of that shutdown gold. You don't really have any bounties on some of their members. The only one that has a bounty right now is Puppycat. They can look to try and minimize that. Another fight could go down towards this Herald. Depends on Sam Houston whether or not they want to try and contest this. This mid tower likely going to fall for them. The UW, they do still have a small gold lead, so they don't necessarily need to try and force anything right now. They can look to just try and play for some of these objectives, look to play it slow. We'll decide to start up the Herald now when having some of those turrets down on that Sam Houston side of Forbes UW, the ability to play aggressively. Puppycat waiting in the wings, though. I don't know if she was spotted out on the vision. It's just going to peel back off, so yes, was spotted out on that ward. Sam Houston, what you want to try and do if you want to continue to make your way back in this game. Double bomb going to go down on top of multiple members there, but just going to shake it off and walk away. And for the Sam Houston squad, they need to start to try and look to take down some of these turrets. They need to find a way to try and get themselves some mobility around the map and make them Rift a little bit of a less scary place to play around right now. As Ping's going down on top of Texas A. Bad Luck is going to get seen there. Might not choose to drop the Herald right now. I don't think that the Herald charge would knock down that turret without help. Jenna Cristolero going to land down on top of him. That may be what he needs. Fantastic cross-map ability there. But the rest of the Sam Houston squad is showing up. Super Mega Death Rocket going to go wide again. Tavros going to get locked in with a High King. Going to try and look to knock down the Sam Houston support. He's going to pop the ultimate, so will just sacrifice his life at the end for nothing. Going to come out of that one. And this should just be the kill going over towards Sam Houston. Do they want to donate to Zodiac? No, they're going to give it to Texas A. But meanwhile, across the map, non-stop pressure from this UW squad. Who's going to go down on top of multiple members? Mad Joker going to take the turret shot. And Puppy Cat, with the help of the neutral turret, is going to be able to get that kill. Light Tempo not going to find his way out of that one either. Double kill for the Sam Houston mid laner. Puppy Cat having a hell of a game. 6-1-4. That Everfrost route just absolutely killer. They turned right into it too. They turned to face Puppy Cat and just ate it full force. And that was all she needed to turn that around. Texas A, speaking of turn around, maybe trying to tech that around, but not going to be able to. Going to get pushed down straight into the dirt. We go back to the fountain for a little while. Think about what he did, Texas A. Not quite had the damage to trade onto a full health Graves. Wanted to try and make it a close affair, but well, he's got an immortal shield bow, my friend, and that's just not a trade you're going to win as a low health Mundo, even if you do have access to the ultimate, which he did not. So now, for UW, I think the strategy for them is to keep doing what they've been doing, to keep looking for some of these smaller team fights. Obviously, they are on even par right now in terms of gold and in terms of kills. And Sam Houston stopping that dragon stacking is going to feel a little bit bad if you are Whitewater right now, because you do want to have that win condition in your back pocket and be able to force Sam Houston to play around that. But now Sam Houston have themselves some breathing room where they don't necessarily have to fight for the next dragon, because they do have a little bit of space to work with. They don't necessarily need it to contest the fourth dragon because it's not a full stack yet, so they can look to just buy a little bit more time for Zodiac to continue to come online, who right now only has access to the one item. So it is just that Kraken Slayer in his back pocket. Does have the completed boots some time ago. Is looking, I think, to try and complete either. What he's trying to complete, I would. It's not going to be the Infinity Edge, because you would see the BF sword, so you can see what he might try and put there. It could be. I'm not sure what he's going to try and build out of that. We'll have to wait and see. There's a couple items that can use. That was the double longsword setup. So now, next dragon coming up in 45 seconds. Sam Houston, how badly do you actually want to contest this? You do have side lanes being pushed in the top side. Texas A trying to duel with Tavros there, so teleports available for both of these top laners. Now, Whitewater are the first here. They have excellent setup. They've continued to control the time and placements of their engagements. Yes, they've given over some sort of unneeded kills underneath the tower, but Bad Luck does have the Herald waiting in his pocket, so they can look to make that Herald play, send it in mid, and force one or two members of Sam Houston to respond to that. Choosing not to do so yet. They have a lane in which they can drop this, but the Herald's going to time out here, so they have to make something happen soon if they do want to try and use that. Sam Houston, again, just content to try and continue to land a poach. Texas A is here. Didn't use the teleport, but it is going to be the full teleport commit now from Tavros. Sam Houston, they're trying to go now. Puppy Cat going to dash in, trying to get something. Tavros on the back line. Cheddar Cristolero going to go down on top of Zodiac. He's going to try and find his way there, but it's low health bars. And UW, they're here to smash. They're going to smash this team fight. Zodiac trying to get his way out. High King forced to flash. And Dragons, he's going to go down underneath this. Mad Joker, able to get one. Can he get a second? He's going to be able to do so. Zodiac on the back line does have the reset, but it's not enough. Too little, too late. This is going to be the third dragon going the way of UW Whitewater. The Herald not going to get the charge into the tournament, so Zodiac will stop that charge, but that is a poor consolation prize for losing the dragon and losing that fight. A near team wipe there for Sam Houston, 4 members dropping. A lot of those kills going into the pocket of Mad Joker on that Ashe, who's having a phenomenal game. Already has the Blade of the Ruined King, has the Kraken Slayer, is only going to become more lethal. And I loved the patience there from Whitewater, just willing to wait out the full engage from Sam Houston, and then once those ultimates were blown, turned around and took a winning team fight. Excellent patience for them, and a pretty good first game for them, all things considered. They've controlled the pacing pretty well. It stopped a lot of what Sam Houston wants to do, punishing them for their lack of CC. And again, not that Whitewater has a tremendous amount of it themselves, but they have more than what Sam Houston has, and they've been using it to debilitating effect. Those Enchanted Crystal Arrows have hit every single time. And the follow-up has been on point every single time for multiple members of the Whitewater team, be it Bad Luck there on the Graves or even Tavros on that Mordekaiser. They'll be looking to continue to try and set up more for that. And honestly, the Rift is theirs to kind of take the run of right now. You have access to the next dragon if you do just want to wait for that one, having the ability to force Sam Houston to fight you on that objective is going to feel pretty good. You can look to just pivot and make a play for the Baron if you can find a winning team fight. And possibly pick some of these members of Sam Houston. If you can knock down Puppy Cat, if you can knock down Zodiac, it's a pretty easy fight because they don't really have a way to contest you. They don't have a lot of AoE, abilities that they can throw into a Baron pit to punish you. And I mean, yes, Texas A can take some punishment and try to just get in there and throw cleavers, but that's not how you're going to stop a Baron if you're Sam Houston. Stray Ganks. We'll walk into this one. Q going to land for Braum. Going to be forced to blow the ultimate immediately, and they'll be happy to get that one out. So that'll be an ability going to be on cooldown for just a little while. May not be able to do anything with it, but it's nice to know that if you do find a fight for the next couple of minutes, Drakegank's not going to have access to that ultimate. And the poison control from this Whitewater team has just been impressive, and this is what we've seen for them. Watching a lot of the VODs and watching them play lives, this is a team that is very, very calm and in control when they have leads, and they do convincingly close out games when they have that lead. It's very difficult to kind of overturn them. Whitewater just playing so intelligent in the right, controlling the vision, too, is something you love to see when you see a team ahead. I think there's kind of the penchant for teams that have got large gold leads or have large objective leads to just kind of slack on the vision, but Whitewater not doing that at all. Just trying to limit what Sam Houston can see on every side of this map. Just going to continue to try and level up Zodiac wherever he can, trying to get this Jinx further and further fed. Phantom Dancer out there for the Sam Houston ADC. Now Sam Houston are kind of in a tricky state too right now because the champions that they didn't want getting kills have kills on the side of this Whitewater team because Mordekaiser's strong, has access to the Riftmaker. Ashe is incredibly far ahead with the 3 items, now completing the Rage Blade. Teleport coming out there from Connor. Gonna be the full team fight right now. Jenna Cristolero, I think, land down on top of one, but Sam Houston, well, they have found the fight that they need. They've got one down so far. Teleport gonna come out for Texas A. There's a lot of engaged blood. It's a 4-man stun there, Sam Houston. Oh, they may have found it. They may have found the way back in. It's going to be one dropping right now. Zodiac on the back by Tavros, trying to see if he can trade it to double kill. And it's going to be a triple kill for the Sam Houston ADC. Oh, that fight blew up in a heartbeat. Sam Houston finding a quick engage in their own jungle. And they found themselves a breather room, and this will be the Baron going their way. Fantastic response. We're going to see that on the replay. And this Baron just going the way of Sam Houston. Let's look and see how that fight started off. So just a little bit of top pressure right there. Teleport immediately going out. So it looked like Bad Luck was trying to fight a team fight. The Chandler Crystal arrow went wide. It was just a small stun. And High King managed to knock down Connor. And after that, that's a lot of your team fight capability gone once that Karma is down because you don't have the Monster Q. And the double bomb. The double bomb from High King to set that up to get 4-man stun. Just sets up the rest of that Sam Houston squad. An absolutely pivotal ability usage there to put them in a spot where they could win that team fight. Sam Houston now, they're going to start to be able to open up the map now. They're going to be able to knock down some of these turrets. Look to knock down that bot lane turret as well. 40 seconds on the next dragon. They're for sure going to fight for this one. You don't want to give them any more objectives to the Whitewater squad. Just a bit of a misplay there, a misposition from Whitewater. Just trying to be a little bit greedy, maybe deny some of those camps from the Sam Houston squad and just got caught doing it. Teleport going to come out from Tavros now. As Texas A just going to go ahead and take the Hex Gate. They are going to get spotted out in this jungle. This is a choke point. This could be what Whitewater needs to try and set this up. A Channel Crystal Arrow not being used yet. Sam Houston trying to land some pokes. And they do it. No ultimates committed just yet. What they want to try and do, Light Templar trying to remain something, but they are getting poked out. Braum ultimate going to go wide. Immediate cleanse out from Zodiac. And that's their big engage going. And Sam Houston, now they get to run it. Now they get to do whatever they want. Because they're diving, they're dipping, they're dodging, they're ducking. They've yorded all the CC. And now they get to collect all the kills. The low health bars here for Sam Houston. What else can they get? Mad Joker firing away. Zodiac not able to trade back. No resets. There's going to be a double kill there for Mad Joker. And they may have forced Sam Houston off this dragon. It looked so good for Sam Houston there just for a second. It looked like Whitewater had blown all their engaged. Immediate cleanse out from Zodiac. They weren't able to get the Jinx, but they turned it around having the better health bars. Tavros just having all the time in the world to stack that pass and burn them down. And now Dragon's Soul is there, so they're going to be feeling pretty good. A great response for them to answer the Baron play from Sam Houston. Again, just getting caught up in that choke point. Yes, the ultimates did go wide there for those Whitewater members, but they still had the health bars to play with. They still had the ability to run Sam Houston down. High King, he may have been caught here. Flash out. What was he doing? He stepped way too close to Mad Joker, and he gets punished for that. Going to go down and not having access to the ultimate either. Just nothing he could do there. Mad Joker having a phenomenal game, 12, 5, and 6. to be feeling pretty good on this next back. Likely going to be trying to buy, I think, a Wit's End just to deny some of that damage there coming out, the magic damage from the side of Sam Houston, to deny Puppycat any chance to get that. Yep, and it is going to be that Wit's End coming out there for Mad Joker. So I like that buy. It's a very, very intelligent itemization choice, knowing that really the only way that he's going to get dropped is for Puppycat to fly in, do that damage. But he's going to land the Q here, so there should just be Tavros going down as the Everfrost going to land on top of that, going to tick down. That kill going to be donated over to the Sam Houston jungler in the end. I'd like to have seen that gold go over to Puppycat, but regardless, going to still look to shove down that top lane. And Sam Houston is going to be tricky for them to take some of these team fights because it is a Hex Tech Soul. So you are going to have that electrocution passive. You are going to get slowed in these team fights even more than you already are, especially for Zodiac. And it's going to be so important to not get tagged by anything because this Jinx does rely off of having that auto setup, off being able to get resets to win some of these fights. Sam Houston, do they want to push this any farther? And Tavros down for another 10 seconds, but they are just going to continue to peel off and wait. I think trying to set something up in the UH top jungle. That's what they want to do. Bad Luck jumps over the wall. Still jumping to his death, but doesn't get punished for it. Is going to spot out the ward. Sam Houston, a couple more minutes until this next Baron, so you can't just look to stall that out, look to play for that. Drake going to get tagged up for the Q. How badly do they want to try and commit for this? I think going to get tagged up. A Channel Crystal Arrow going out, but no follow-up. A really late Braum ulti for nothing. Sam Houston going to be happy to have that one down. And of course, the cooldowns are low enough to the point for both those members that it won't really matter that they use that ultimate, but still, no follow-up there from Whitewater. So not sure why they would want to take that fight there. And Sam Houston still very much inside this game. Gold lead is tagged up. Obviously, being down that Dragon Soul will hurt, so got to make these team fights a little bit more complicated for them. A little bit more risky, but they have shown that they can fight back, and this Jinx is only going to get stronger. As good of a team fighting champion as this Ashe is, it is going to eventually get outscaled by the Jinx. We've hit the 30-minute mark, so a lot of these third and fourth items are going to start to come out for some of these Sam Houston members, and once they do, it's going to be very difficult to knock them down. You know, even with Hiking, if he wanted to be cheeky, he could look to grab himself a Guardian Angel and then just save his ult for a team member. Maybe even grab himself a Zonius. Hasn't done so yet. But obviously, itemization choice is still available there for the Sam Houston support. And the Infinity Edge completed there for Zodiac, so going to give him quite a bit more team fighting prowess. You got the Shadowfire and the Frostfire. Sorry, the Frostfire. The Everfrost done for Puppycat there. So this Ahri is going to be lethal if it does get access to the back line. If it goes unchecked, if it gets a flanking opportunity onto Mad Joker, you have to feel that he would fall. Obviously, having access to that Wit's End might be better, but speaking of having access, Draganx may wish he had access to a different spot to stand in because, yeah, he's going to be dropping right here, and this is just going to be likely going to be the Baron going over to UW. If they can get over there, but they may not be able to. Sam Houston spotting this out. They know that the immediate call is going to be to try and go over there and grab that objective. Still have most of their members healthy. They can't smite fight for it, but they can look to knock down and punish UW for trying to go for this. They will be fairly tanky to tank this. Mordekaiser could just frontline this. But they don't want to get caught in the pit with Ahri and with Jinx waiting on the other side. It'd be very risky to take it, and I like the call not to start it up saying, hey, guys, we don't want to throw this at a potential Baron. We don't want to try and give anything up here right now. Sam Houston may have been caught out right now. Hiking going to land his ult on the top of himself just to stay alive, but Zodiac going to be hitting damage on the back line. Hiking not going to drop in the end. That's a 1-for-0 trade right now. Draganx is going to be responding. This may be Sam Houston's window. UW may have forced where there wasn't something to force. Texas A not going to get pulled back right now. Sam Houston, what do they want to do? They want to try and find this, or do they want to disengage? They can't just look to go towards the mid lane and try and shove this out. They would have priority there. They do have the faster push with access to that Jinx. Karma not in this fight right now, so it is just a 3-on-4. Draganx is here. Karma going to join the fight now, though, so it is the full squad there. And Houston, what do they want to do? Fight not getting started up just yet. Both these teams knowing that there's a lot riding on this potential engage. Connor just trying to find something. Sam Houston, if they want to do this, they're going to have to do it soon, though. Bad Luck is up in 5. No, the call is going to be just to peel off of it. They don't want to risk anything. They're going to just play for the next dragon. Look to maybe get the Elder, trying to win a team fight off of that one. Just continue to shove the lane. Sam Houston, they look indecisive right here. It's like they don't necessarily know where they want to go. They are scared of taking fights into this UW squad right now, given the fact that they have access to that engage. They do have access to the Crystal Arrow. They do have access to the Karma Mantra Q. Mordekaiser's going to have his ult. He drops without putting anybody in it, so would be a potentially risky team fight. They are stacked up in this butch. They are going to get seen by the Ashe. How do they want to do this? Oh, the Q poke from Connor, just devastating to keep Sam Houston low in these engages. And Chana Crystal are going to come out down the top of Puppet Cat. She managed to get out. Texas A trying to buy time. Sam Houston trying to get fights, but they can't get anything because their health bars are just melting. UW, they're going to collect this team fight. Zodiac trying to get one in the end, but Light Tempo is going to pick him up. Quinn's not going to be enough to save him. Puppet Cat's the only one that lives, and this is going to be the Elder and the Baron going the way of UW. A phenomenal team fight from them. Yes, they sacrificed Tavros in the end, but they'll take that trade any day of the week. This is going to be both objectives going their way, and you have to feel that this is the beginning of the end for Sam Houston to end this first game. It's going to be so difficult for them to fight a Baron and Eldered up team. Mad Joker has just been absolutely performing and delivering with this Ashe, denying everything that the Sam Houston squad wants to do, denying them any chance to get on the back line, denying them any chance to set up what little CC they have. We talked about ease of execution. This UW squad, they've shown they got it. Puppy Cat putting over the wall. There's surely no way that she steals this. No, not going to happen. We held my breath for it in a brief, unconscionable moment, thinking that she might steal that, but no, wasn't able to. It's going to be the full reset there for UW, and they're going to run onto the map, and they're going to have their choice of where they want to go with this one. And look to just try and continue to smash through mid or bot lane. Sam Houston just struggling to survive the poke coming out from Connor. Hitting that Mantra Q did so much damage on the multiple members of that Sam Houston squad. And when your health bars are that low and you have no really counter engage to stop this UW squad from getting on top of you, it becomes so difficult to win those fights, especially when you don't have any lifesteal, any sustain, no healing coming out from hiking. You know, for this UW squad, they have access to that karma, so that shielding and healing is going to come out for them, having access to that redemption. But on Sam Houston, there's nothing like that. Just constantly getting poked down, and that's been the story of these fights. You know, around some of these major objectives where they've just not been able to get on top of the carry members of the Whitewater squad. And now the slow siege is going to begin. And Sam Houston, they have to play this so carefully, because one wrong move, that Elder Dragon is going to laser you down. As they continue to just wait these minions to continue to walk in. Bonus gold is activated for Sam Houston, but it's just the wrong time for it to be. They have no way to convert on any of it. Now they're going to look to knock down this mid lane turret and pick up their first inhibitor. No waves with which to play with in the bot lane, but they can't just look to rotate top lane. That'll be the first inhibitor. Tavros making his way up. Texas ain't going to get the recall now, just trying to trade for whatever he can. Second bomb not going to let for high noon. Sam Houston, they're going to have to pick their time. They're going to have to choose to go now. Chena Crystal Arrow is going to buy a little bit of time for them to find another team fight. Drake Gang's ticking. Didn't get lasered down in the end. Sam Houston, what can they do? Can they defend this base? As it's already in crumbles. They're trying to find something. Zodiac going to land the zap. Just trying to pick and prod and poke this UW squad out of their base, but they're not able to do it right now. Bad Life going to miss on the open. It's the fight now, but it's not enough. Elder Dragon's enough to laser them down. Puppy Cat going to fall. Drake Gang's going to follow. Zodiac just forced to watch, and the Nexus is going to blow up in Whitewater. They're going to win the first game of this series.